Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today's problem we have is that you come to the outside doorbell, and as like with any doorbell, you press the bell, and when you press it, the doorbell rings. But in this particular case, you press the doorbell, and as soon as you press the button, the doorbell in the house, it rings. But if you don't hold the button down, the doorbell stops ringing immediately as soon as you let the button go. So first thing I want to show you is a couple things we're going to check to find out what the problem is, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to repair it. Again, you press the bell. If you hold it, it rings. If you let go, it stops immediately. All right, so let's go inside and take a look at the wiring and go from there. The first thing we'll do is we'll go up by the box itself. We'll pull the cover off, and we're going to make sure that all of these wires are in the right position and tight. Next, we're going to check the wiring to make sure we have at least 10 to 15 watts and 16 volts of power at the transformer wires. Everything checked out exactly as it was supposed to, so we went to our local big box store. We purchased a new bell for the house itself. Now, we purchased the bell that mounts on the wall inside the house, and we purchased a separate button for the outside of the house as well. So we open up our directions and we're reading through the directions, and it tells you exactly what to do step by step to remove the old one and to install the new one on the wall. All right, so we just read through everything, and one thing that stuck in my head that I noticed as soon as I started reading through here is that they talk about the diode in that's mounted up inside, which is this right here. It comes with the new bell. Now, the new bell is the exact same one that is being taken off of the wall itself. But you can see there's two diodes inside here, which then led me to believe that maybe there was something wrong with the diodes, that possibly the diodes themselves had burned out. So these are where the wires would actually go if we were changing this bell, which, as it turns out, we did not have to replace it. We returned it to the parts store because we found that there was another problem in there, which we'll go and cover in a little more detail. But these diodes in the outside where the doorbell is mounted to the exterior of the house, it's very important that the diodes mounted as shown on the back of the doorbell itself, from one side around over to the other side, and it loops right over the top and around. The diodes actually bridges the two connections, and I'm going to show you in the directions where it said that the diodes would be installed in the line itself. See the picture right here? Picture number 9. You see how diodes are on there? That's very important that diodes is mounted just the way it's supposed to, because when you press the button and you release it, that could be the culprit right there. The diodes itself could be either broken, burned out, or just worn out. So first thing we're going to do now is, before we change everything here, we're going to go back out to the bell that's mounted on the button that's mounted on the outside of the door, and we're going to pull it apart, and we're going to take a look and see if that diode's mounted in there, whether it's like in the number 9, the one to the left, or the one to the right. Most likely it's going to be the one to the left because it's a longer, thinner bell. So we're going to go outside. We're going to take that bell off the wall, and we're going to see if that resists the diodes, or if the diode itself has actually just burned out. Removing the bell from the exterior of the house itself is fairly easy. In this particular case, we're just going to take out the 2 flat screws that you see top and bottom right here. We'll take those screws out, remove the bell from the wall itself, and as you can see, there was silicone around there, which we did have to remove. We used the utility knife to just cut the caulking that was around there, or the silicone that was around there, which we will put back on later on just to keep moisture from getting in there. So we're going to take these 2 screws out. Once we take the screws out, we'll remove the bell from the wall, and we'll take a look, and we'll see if that diode has burned out or just is defective. All right, so let's remove it, and we'll continue once we have the bell off the wall. Once we removed the bell and we pulled it out just a little bit so we can gain access to the wiring that's on the back of the bell itself, you could see that somebody had put this bell in but failed to install the diode that is required. So from the time that this bell was installed, you had to press the button and hold it in order to get the bell to ring and continue ringing. All right, so we'll put that diode in, show you how to put the resistor on, and then we'll put it back together. Remember, on the back of the bell itself, we're going to take that diode like this, and we're going to put it on the bell to the left. That's how it's situated there. We're going to put it around the screws. We'll mount it on there. And if you do have the other kind to the right side there, you can just loop it around there as well, because sometimes you'll have just a single button that you're going to be pressing versus a longer switch that's illuminated as well. So if you have the one that's rounded like this, then of course you would just take that resistor and loop it around the top as illustrated in the other side right there. And it'll do the exact same thing that going from top to bottom on the one on the left side would do. All right, we're going to put that diode in right now. I have a feeling that whoever installed this just didn't do it correctly. And once we install the new diode, I'm pretty confident that it should be perfectly fine. So we'll just return the other one to the parts store, and we'll go from there. Now the diode itself, remember, when you tighten the screw, it loosen it to the left, and you tighten it to the right. We're going to install that diode, and we're going to loop it around on the top. Looped around as on the top right there, it turns to the right side clockwise. So this way, as you tighten up the screw, you'll tighten up the wire on there as well. Now, of course, we're going to also install the wire that's in the wall itself underneath there too. So the resistor goes on, and then you also have to install the bell wires back onto the original position where they were before. So that's what we're going to do. We'll put the wires back on, we'll put it together, and hopefully it's going to work the way it's supposed to. Next, after we put the resistor on and we reconnected the wires exactly where they were supposed to be, we took our bell and we put it back in the exact same location. As you can see, it still illuminates the way it's supposed to, so we know our wires are connected on exactly as they're supposed to in the back of the bell. But in this case, we put the diode between the top and the bottom and connected it in place the way it's supposed to. So now when we press the bell, instead of the bell just ringing and as soon as you release it, stopping and not ringing any further, now when you press the bell and you release it, it rings just the way it's supposed to inside the house. So now our bell works properly. So in this case, somebody failed to install the diode correctly, and that's what created the problem. My dogs are always supervising everything I do. They'd love to be anywhere I'm working. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.